Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Illinois Stories. I'm Mark McDonald in Salisbury with about 30 of our newest friends at the Prairie Rose Alpaca Farm. Never saw an alpaca before? You're about to see about 30 of them. Some of them are very young. They're called cria. Some of them are a little older. Some of them are just called the boys. They keep them in their own separate area. But this is very interesting. It's a local couple and the wife's brother run this operation. And I am fascinated by these round-headed, beautiful, delicate creatures. I guess you were too, weren't you, Jim,
Yes.
when you started it?
Yeah, we were. It was, we went out to see them at another farm that's out in Petersburg, and we fell in love with them right away because they are a very enchanting creature and very docile. They're easy to keep. They're easy to maintain. They're friendly.
They kind of like people, don't they?
Yeah, they do like, they're fairly friendly to people.
Yeah.
They're not like a llama, which is very spitty kind of thing. These guys are much more laid back.
Yeah. We look between us here, we can see that some of them are quite a bit larger than others. Now, these are all females here, are they not?
Yes, these are all females.
And you keep them separated for breeding purposes?
Yes, so that we don't get unintended breedings.
Yeah. You want to breed them. You want them to breed when you want them to breed, and
Correct.
you actually want them to breed to deliver in the spring to summertime. Is that sort of the plan?
They have a gestation period of about 11 and a half months. So we put the boys and the girls together based on that calendar, going, we want some born in May, or we want some born in like September, October. We try to avoid births in the heat of the summer and in the cold of the winter.
I wanted to come to this location because this is a good way to look at the layout of your farm. If we look over your left shoulder, we can see that there's a separate area up there. It's I don't know, a paddock or whatever you might want to call it, but you can see that you've got those guys separated. Is there a reason why they're up there?
Principally just as we separate the boys from the girls.
Those are the boys, huh?
Those are all the boys.
That's the man cave up there.
Yeah, that's the man cave.
Okay.
We call it the boy barn.
Okay, boy barn. All right, so you keep them separated. How many breeding males do you keep?
We have right now 4 breeding males here. And we have one other breeding male that we co-own with another farm, that he's at another farm. And one of those breeding males that's up there is actually co-owned.
I see, okay.
And then there's a couple of young boys up there that in the future will be breeding males.
They have to learn.
They've gotten old enough they have to be separated from the girls, but they're not really ready yet for.
Yeah. They're up there getting some advice from the older gentlemen.
Yeah, they're not ready to.
We hope they're learning.
Fulfill their requirements.
These are all females, and what you've got here now, you've got a separate barn here, and this is where is this for the females here?
Yes.
Okay, and there's also some dogs in there.
Yeah, we have 4 Great Pyrenees, and they're livestock guardian dogs. They go, if people are familiar with them, they go about 100 pounds apiece.
Yeah, they're big. I saw
They're
them.
big,
Yeah.
and they patrol all this fenced-in area. They're here to keep the coyotes. Would be the main concern around here for the babies.
Yeah.
Because an alpaca, its only real defense is to run away.
Yeah.
So once you put them in a fenced area,
They're just bait, aren't they?
You've got to provide.
And the dogs are good at that.
Oh yeah.
We can interview the dogs later, right?
Sure.
Can we do that? Okay. And then we've got this now, and if we can, with the camera, we can also kind of take a look, because what you've done here, you've got a sizable piece of property here, and you've separated it into, fenced-in areas like grazing areas and just areas where you can move them around for different purposes. And are these also all females out here now?
Yes, these are all females. Well, except for that one little one right over there. That's a male.
Okay, we'll get to see that. Oh, I see the little one you're talking about. We can interview him too, right?
Yeah.
Because he's a character, isn't he?
Oh, he is.
Okay.
He's a real character.
We'll meet him, and let's walk up the hill just a little bit, get a little closer to these guys. One thing I notice about them is they often, there they go. They have different shaped heads. What's the cause of that?
that's basically how we've sheared them.
Okay.
Some people shear them. As you see, there's a couple females that are in here that are just visiting to meet some of our boys. And so the farm that they came from shears their head down considerably.
Okay. And you don't do
We
that?
like the, as we say, the dandelion head, the big poofy.
I
head.
kind of
It looks
like that too.
When they, so that's just the way we've sheared them.
Okay. Well, listen, I think what I'd like to do is, if it's okay with you, I'd like to go meet the boys. Can we go meet the boys?
Yeah, certainly.
Okay.
Meet the boys.
I'm chuckling, Bruce, because one of your boys here just made the cutest sound. They do make a sound, an audible sound, don't they? It sounds almost like a question.
It's kind of a humming sound. Yes. That's one of the primary sounds that they make when they're content. Sometimes when they're a little bit upset or they're in an unfamiliar situation and a little bit anxious.
Yeah, but they're not anxiety ridden, are they? Like some animals, they seem to be pretty cool.
No, they're actually pretty gentle, and they're pretty easy to get along with because of the size of our farm. I think they all get personal attention, and we call them all by their names, and they're more familiar with being around people, and so they're less likely to get into their flight reflex.
These are all the boys. We were talking about the boy barn, and these guys are all these are all breeders, I guess. Huh? Look at this guy chewing away. This guy over there. This guy's got color, boy, and a mustache to boot. Look at this handsome guy.
That's Borromeo. He's co-owned with Crescent Moon in Oregon, and he is a color champion.
And we're looking at the one on the left, the brown one here, right? Is the one you're talking about.
The one with the mustache.
Yeah.
Gold Charmer is a blue ribbon winner, and we got him from Snowmass Alpacas in Idaho.
Okay, now we're talking about the one on the right.
The fawn-colored boy, and he was our first herd sire.
Okay, and he's the one that's making a little bit of noise here that we can hear. Yeah, let's move on down the way here, because they really do look different. Now this guy, you say he's usually cleaned up really well, but they like to roll around in the dirt, don't they, when it's nice and warm like this?
When it's a nice warm day and there's some dust or some hay, you'll catch them rolling a lot. Yeah.
Is this one old enough to breed here?
Oh yes, Cuba I think is 4, and we actually have a female that's bred to Cuba now. That's due for a cria next summer.
Cuba, there's a story behind the name Cuba too, is there not?
Cuba is a Polish term of endearment for the name James.
James.
So this is Cuba the Great.
Okay, Cuba the Great. Okay, Jaime, we'll be back to see you later. And now these two are in together. Does that mean anything?
They're just little boys, and they're less likely to get into conflict. They came to us together, and they sort of have become fast friends and good pals.
Oh, okay.
The one in the front is Moonlight Revolution, and the one in the back is Cashmere Touch.
And now they have not bred yet, or they have?
They are not quite old enough for breeding yet.
All right. They're here to get the manly advice that they need to carry on.
They're old enough to chase the girls, but they're not old enough to breed.
I got you. Okay. And we got 2 more that are in together. They can share a pen, okay? I mean,
the younger ones,
part.
They usually don't fight too much. Yeah. And they're like people. Some of them get along pretty well, and some of them don't get along so well.
Yeah. Now you'll breed them once a year. No, you breed the males more than once a year, but the females just once a year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for say if you have a herd of 22 females, you only need several males, right? I mean, you don't need a lot of males.
That's correct. Yes. You can breed any number of females from one male, and generally you try to acquire a male that is going to improve the quality of your herd, so that the genetics of your herd are always improving with successive generations. So this here is Lucky and Archangelo.
Now you're talking about the two.
And
you're talking about the brown and the white one that are in together here
one.
now.
And the one that you're getting the shot of now, his name is Raider.
Okay, but you need a little cleaning up there, pal. You need some grooming work done. It's okay, don't be offended.
Raider is a beautiful color. He's a medium brown boy, and his fiber is just wonderful. And the last boy that we have down here on the very end is Highland Amber.
I can barely see him, he's so dark.
And he is a...
Barely see him.
He's classified as a dark brown but we call him a black roan because when we get him out in the sunlight, he almost shines red.
Beautiful.
And we're
that's
expecting a cria for him as well.
Barbara, call that little critter again, will you?
Kateri. Kateri, sweet
Look at
pea.
that face.
Kateri.
This is your young. Oh, look at that. This is your youngest, huh?
She was born at the end of August, and her name is Kateri Tekawitha. She's considered a medium brown. This is her
Oh,
mother.
gosh,
She's
she's
considered beige, and her father was fawn, which is that golden color. And alpaca colors are kind of a hit and miss. You kind of wait until they come out.
The default is kind of a whitish beige, though, right? I mean,
Right,
that's
right,
basically
that's the
what you're going
dominant.
to get. Okay.
Because they're actually from the Andes Mountains, and because they're from the Andes Mountains, it would be advantageous for them to be white to match
be
with
snowy,
the snow.
yeah, to blend in. Now, what do we know well, first of all, but let's talk about this pair.
Okay.
Of course, you bred these on purpose. You got an
Right.
outcome that was a surprise, but you're very happy with the outcome. But you frequently don't, I mean, you know that you'll get one or two each time you breed, right?
Normally you only get one.
Normally
it's
one.
odd that you get twins, and normally one of them doesn't survive. I think in this past year I've heard about 2 separate farms that had twins that actually survived. Usually the youngest, the younger of the two is maybe about half the size. Normal cria size is somewhere between 14 pounds and 17 pounds. And when Kateri was born, she was right at 16. So she was pretty much average
pretty
size.
normal. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And she was born at about 4 or 5 in the morning, we thought. And when we let the dogs out, you'll see every one of the 4 dogs has a job. And Lucy's job is to watch the moms and the crias. And one morning about 5 o'clock, I heard Lucy barking to beat the band. And I thought, oh, it's some stupid rabbit. She doesn't like rabbits either. And then I was like, should I get up? I'm like, I'm not getting up. And when we went down at 6 o'clock, there was little Kateri was standing in the field.
Oh, boy, what a thrill, huh?
And when they're born, the process itself, usually they come out like they're diving, feet first, and then their head comes out. And then from there, by the time you get their heads out, it'll take about 15, 20 minutes for them to be born. And she's always going to stand between you and that baby.
Of course. Now, you can breed, she'll take 11 months to deliver, right? That's her
Correct.
gestation
11
period?
to 12, right.
Okay, so you breed them once can you breed them every year?
You can breed them every year. We usually don't because we don't have that much space. Sometimes we do it every other year. We bought 5 of these animals all at once. She's from the Snowmass farm, and she's 2. The one right in the next stall over, she's also from Snowmass, and she's 4.
Oh, and she's got a baby.
She's got a baby. That was the other one that was born this year.
Okay, and so you can breed them as young as 2, and then for how long can they breed? How old will they be?
There was somebody up at a farm in Iowa that had like a 15-year-old female.
Wow.
Out in the wild, they only live to somewhere between 15 and 18 years is pushing it. In the United States, up to 20 years and over,
that's
because they just
terrific.
get much more handled care.
Yeah. Well, that's really nice. Okay, well, you mentioned the dogs, and as long as you mention the dogs, they are a key part of this farm.
Oh, yeah.
And so let's go see the dogs and see
Okay.
what they do, okay?
Okay.
After you.
Okay. All right, you're fine. Back up.
Oh, is he or she?
She. That's
Hello.
Izzy.
Oh, Izzy this is your
Isadora.
boss dog.
This is my
Isadora's
boss
your boss dog.
And this is Samson.
And these are stay here for me, sweetheart. These are what are these called?
Great Pyrenees.
Great Pyrenees.
Yes.
Okay. Sizable animals.
Yeah, they all weigh over 100 pounds.
Wow.
Great Pyrenees are guardian dogs.
And that's why you have them.
We have them here because if you look at the alpacas, they don't really have anything to protect themselves. They only have teeth on the bottom.
Teeth on the bottom.
Teeth on the bottom. They don't have hoofs, they have toes. And so if something would attack them, nothing's gonna. They can't do anything.
So
they can spit.
In the Andes, where they would be found, they would run away. That would be their
Yeah,
defense,
that
right?
would be it.
Okay, but they can't do that here
No.
because they're in fences. And so you have the dogs
Yes.
to just protect them.
Right.
And this dog can kill anything that would come at.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, real easy.
Oh, yeah.
And the dog has the run of the place, don't they?
Pretty much.
You have dog doors all through here, and they can get into any pasture.
Correct.
Okay. Boy, you guys
And,
are special. You guys are
We
special.
got Izzy. She was about 6 months old, and she
Special.
trained him. We got the dogs before we had any of the animals, and every night Izzy would take him and walk the perimeter. You would just see her just so he would know what to do. And she is still the alpha. And she trains the puppies when they come to know what to
And
do.
this guy, now what's this guy's name?
Samson.
He's 110, 120 pounds.
Yeah,
I can see
give or
why you
take.
named him that.
Yeah.
Gorgeous animal.
They all came from the same farm down in Bourbon, Missouri, and the reason we picked that farm is they have animals, and so they're used to working. If you see these guys work and you see her train the puppies, like when we had Lucy, who's still locked up, she's the one that has been a little bit sick. Let's see, Izzy is going to be 4 right around Thanksgiving. Samson turned 3 in April. Lucy turned 3 in August, and then the baby Olaf, who weighs 100 pounds, just turned a year in July. She would take the dogs and go out, and she would pretend like she was a coyote or something. And when you see them work, two of the dogs will go out and they'll stagger, and the one that's behind grabs the tail and pulls it back and slows the animal. The one that's in front grabs them by the neck, and then they work together and slam it down on the ground.
Wow.
And it goes that fast, maybe 5-10 seconds.
I've got to get my hands on one of these alpacas.
Sure.
Is there one here that'll let us touch him or her?
I'm pretty sure.
Her, I guess.
Let me try to get one of my assistants up here. Come here. Okay, you're going to run away.
Not when you want to.
Yeah, not when I want
Oh,
him.
look at the deer things.
Come on, Gracie. Gracie. Where's my assistant?
Oh, not for television.
Yeah.
Not for television.
Bruce!
That's okay. I have a feeling that we're going to be able to do this anyway.
Yeah.
Because you've picked one out that you're going to get ready to show.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So we can get our hands on that one.
Yeah.
All right, good deal. Let's
And
go.
I did want to say something about that. These guys they're just all friendly now because they know
Yeah.
you and they've seen you in here.
Yeah. And they watch Illinois Stories. That's
And they
how
watch
yeah.
Illinois Stories. It's
Yeah.
their favorite show. I would not want to be somebody that came in here that did not
Yeah.
belong.
If they didn't know you and you snuck
Yeah.
into the place,
Well,
you wouldn't get out.
I'm trying to think. That little bitty one over there, the brown, right there.
This little brown
Her
one
mom
right
died when she was like 3 months old, and I had to bottle feed her.
coming right to the camera.
And when she was 3 or 4 months old, I was just bleary-eyed. I mean, every 2 hours, I was 50 years old. You don't like to do that. And I came down, and usually I would say, "I'm coming in, kids." I forgot to say that, and I opened the door. There is nothing scarier than 400 pounds of dog
Yeah, yeah.
coming at you at 90 miles an hour.
Oh, I'll bet.
So they live with the herd. This is their herd. And they all kind of have a job. Like Izzy is in charge. And no offense to any weatherman, I listen to Izzy. We've had remember the last tornado where they weren't saying that? All of a sudden, Izzy was asleep in her cage and she shot up, she walked out this way and she scanned. She scans the sky always from east to west. And then she turned around and did it this way over the barn. And as soon as she went this way over the barn, she looked at me and walked out. And I was like, okay, we're getting everybody in the barn. And that about 15 minutes later was when the tornado hit like 10
Wow.
miles from here.
Yeah.
I trust Izzy.
She has a real sense.
She
Yeah.
really does. We always laugh though. They are very independent dogs. They're kind of hard to train. You know, the joke is if you say sit, they'll kind of look at you. If you say come here, they'll kind of look at you. If you say, But I'll tell you what, they are the best animals for these guys because when a baby is born, usually it's Lucy and Izzy, and they'll get on either side of that mom. And you
don't get in there.
You don't get in there, yeah.
Let's go and find that one that we're going to clean
Okay.
up, huh?
Steve.
Okay, Barb, who have we here?
This is Cashmere Touch. We call him Steve. Steve is approximately a year and a half old. He's one of our premier males. He's going to be in a show here coming up pretty soon. So you can see he kind of, if there is one patch of mud in an entire pasture, he will find it, lay in it, and roll in it.
Especially before a show.
Oh, yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to get him ready for the show, right?
Okay,
This is what
yep.
you would do for an animal
Correct.
right before you're getting ready to take him to the show. And it looks like Jim's got a high-tech tool there.
Yep. We call it the alpaca brush. Really, it's just a toilet brush. And what it does is it helps get the dirt off, the big chunks of dirt. You're not allowed in a show to wash the fiber. They kind of expect to see dirt in it just because they're outdoor animals,
Yeah.
and nobody really keeps any of them inside for any length of
Right.
time. We've tried the whole route of cleaning them and then putting a coat over top of them, and that doesn't work. So a lot of times we'll do big stuff at home, and then you got to redo it when you get to the
Sure,
show.
sure.
Because it's like little kids when you take
and he's
them
in a
off the line.
trailer, right? You take him in a trailer,
Right.
and it's dusty and
Right.
hairy, and there's stuff in there.
Right.
So, okay, so you get the big stuff off here,
Right.
and then you use the toilet brush or the alpaca brush is
The alpaca brush.
more polite.
Yes.
And then this is I found funny. Then you don't blow dry them. You take
No.
a leaf like a leaf blower.
Correct.
And you shoot it through their hair, huh?
Correct. There is something that's called an alpaca blower.
Yeah.
That's like $400, or you can go to Farm and Home and buy a leaf blower for $70.
It looks like Jim has used one before too.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, it has to be electric, because if you use the gas ones, it pushes out smoke on it.
Oh,
I'm
excuse me,
sorry.
yep.
You might want to step back, because when he's kind of filthy.
Okay, yeah, and he's going to blow a lot of
And
junk,
we
huh?
do, we actually do this before we shear them too, because they'll have dirt all the way down to their skin, which you can kind of see if you look at him and pull his fiber out. See how white he is down there?
Yeah. Well, that's not all dirt, is it? That goes in that
that?
far? I mean, why is it so white down there?
It can't get in that far.
So that is kind of dirt. It's dirt that's on the surface.
This is dirt on the surface.
I see.
That's
wow.
why they
that
have,
is so dense.
Yeah, they have very good insulation.
Yeah.
And when you look at this, see how it kind of comes up in chunks?
Yeah.
They call that bundling. That's very good. And you see how it's kind of waffly? That's called crimp. And he's very, very dense.
Okay, so this is why he's one of your champs, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's see how you blow long
He's probably going to jump.
Oh, he probably will. What's that Bruce? Okay. I think we got the idea.
Now, see, when just that little bit that you do, you can tell he's a different
It makes
color.
a big difference. You
Yeah.
bet it does.
Yeah.
Wow, what a magnificent animal with magnificent hair.
Well, and one thing about we talk about the alpaca fiber, there's several things you look for. And you look for density, like you can put your hands in and see how it makes leaves.
Yeah, leaves of fingerprints. Yeah.
And then you look for what they call crimp, which is that crinkly look.
Right.
But you can see how dense the fiber is. It can't get all the way down to the skin, and that's just like snow, ice. It can't get down there.
Right.
I mean, when we had that 40-degree weather, 40 below zero, they were out there. They had a good time.
You don't worry about them. You don't
No.
worry about them in the wintertime.
No, not at all.
Okay, now you stay right here. I'm going to
Okay.
get some items I want to bring
Okay.
back here. Because we were just talking about this wonderful coat that they have.
Yes. When we shear the alpacas, they have what they call the alpaca blanket, which is the longest and it's the best of their fiber. It goes from about their withers, which is their shoulders.
Is this what we're looking at?
Yeah.
Would you pick it up for me so
Sure.
we can show it?
I probably won't be able to pick it all up, but I'll pick out a
Maybe
good
I can
portion
pick up
of it. Yeah,
the
it's
rest
okay.
of it.
It'll,
Maybe Bruce can get the rest of it. But that all comes off in one piece, huh?
Yeah.
And this is called their what?
their blanket.
Their
It goes
blanket.
around the middle part of them, from about their shoulder blades to their rear end, to the front part of their back legs. And this is Angel. She,
I can see why you called her that.
Yeah. We bought her because her birthday was my mom's birthday, and I thought it was fortuitous. She's also won some ribbons. You can tell just how dense it is, and she's got really good crimp. And that, what we call the bundling, you can see how it comes out in little pieces. And you just touch that. It feels like a cloud.
Well, I can't hardly feel anything.
Yeah.
It's so soft.
She is so soft. And she's a 3-year-old animal. That's like when you see what they call a cria in cria coats.
Now, this is different. I mean, not just
This
different
is-
color, but this is
right.
different part of the...
This is Jezebel. Jezebel, you can see how there's brown in there. She's what they call a bay black. And this is the seconds, and it comes out more in chunks.
The seconds means it's off the neck and the
neck.
legs and all that.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And so that is normally what they make into yarn. It'll be into fancy blankets and sweaters. This is normally what they make like socks out of, or rugs. And then there's what they call thirds. Thirds are the lower legs, and a lot of times you throw that away, but what we do is we take those thirds, kind of clean it up, and you can make it felted, they call it, just like you make wool felt. You can felt it, and you can put it around your plants, and it's like having that plastic junk, except it'll eventually
The water
degrade.
goes through, but
Yeah,
nothing comes up
right,
through.
and so you don't get weeds on it. They also, some of these, the thirds and some of the seconds, we do take with little kids, and they get little balls, and you put this in there, and then the birds can use it to build nests. Alpacas are very sustainable. I mean, because they have the toes and not the hoofs, they don't dig up anything. They're not like sheep. Sheep pull up grass by the roots.
Yeah.
These guys don't. The alpaca beans, which is the alpaca fecal excrement, you can leave it anywhere on the grass and it doesn't burn. And you can put it, we have some of it, those big piles down there is where we're composting it. People come out and want alpaca beans all the time because it is so nutrient dense, and then it doesn't burn the grass. You can literally just throw it on your grass. So.
Okay, now we're also, while we're on the subject of this.
Sure. This is actually, a friend of mine sent me this. This is an alpaca blanket that's made from baby alpaca, and it's a hand-woven blanket. And you can see there were 2 different color alpacas in here, one of the light brown ones, or some, it might have been what they call a fawn, which is like charming on the end there. And then a brown one. And so whoever this was took the yarn and just hand loomed
Unfold
it.
that for us so we can get a look at it as a. Now this took not the jacket? What's the back the
blanket.
The blanket.
Yeah.
This would take a couple of blankets to make this, I
Right.
assume. Okay.
Particularly because this is what they call from a cria coat. Like the first coat that comes off a baby is a lot, it's the softest ever.
Yeah, and it feels almost as soft here as it does right out of the bag.
And when you feel the alpaca fiber itself, it's different than wool. Wool is itchy because alpaca fiber grows differently than wool. And then also, there's a lot of people now that, I don't know if you've been around where they make yarn. There's like little bitty pieces that fall off. This is hypoallergenic. People can have allergies to wool, but they don't because alpacas don't produce any oil on them. And so they're using it now in pillows for people that have a lot of allergies. They're making alpaca pillows. So.
Listen, let's go up here. We're just about out of time. Let's go up here and see if we can get one of these critters to show what he eats and eat out of my hand here. This is alpaca food?
That's alpaca chow, yep.
Okay. Looks like this guy looks like he's...
Oh, they'll all. His name
he's
is
willing.
Yeah. Come here, Gus. Come here, baby. He'll do it for you. Maybe.
Gus? No?
Come on, Archangelo.
Alpaca chow, huh? Okay.
Say, well, now,
good
Mark,
deal.
you're my friend.
Okay. Well, listen, I think that's about what we have time for. Thank you, Alpacas. You guys have been a great experience. Here at the Prairie Rose Farm near Salisbury, they'll be, as you can see, we're with the guys here, they'll be breeding more of these alpacas in the future. I would suspect that, by next summer sometime, there will be another 3 or 4, maybe 5 on this farm at Salisbury. With another Illinois story near Salisbury, I'm Mark McDonald. Thanks for watching.
Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you. For a DVD copy of the program you've just seen, send $19.95 to Network Knowledge, P.O. Box 6248, Springfield, Illinois 62708. Be sure to include the program name, subject, and when the program aired. You can also order with your credit card by calling 800-232-3605.